7 Wonders of the World. Number 1. Great Wall of China. The Great Wall of China is one of the biggest building projects ever. People think it's about 5,500 miles long, but some say it's even longer, around 13,170 miles. They started building it in the 7th century BCE and kept going for 2,000 years. Even though we call it a wall, it's more like 2 walls side by side for a lot of it. There are also watchtowers and barracks along it. But here's the thing, the wall wasn't actually that great at keeping out invaders. It was supposed to stop them, but it didn't work very well. Some experts think it was more about showing off power than actually protecting the country. Number 2. Chichen Itza. Chichen Itza was a bustling city in Mexico, built by the Mayans around 1,000 years ago. They were skilled builders and made impressive monuments like El Castillo, a tall pyramid in the middle of the city. It has 365 steps, representing the days in a year. During certain times of the year, the sun makes shadows on the pyramid that look like a snake. People were smart about astronomy too. But life wasn't all serious. Chichen Itza also had a big sports field where they played a game called Tlachtli. It was a popular game across Mesoamerica before Europeans came. Number 3. Petra. Petra, in Jordan, is an old city in a hidden valley, surrounded by tall rocks. Some stories say it's where Moses hit a rock, and water came out. Later, the Nabateans, who were from Arabia, made it their capital city. They were good at carving, so they made homes, temples, and graves in the rocks. The color of the rocks changed as the sun moved. They also made a system to bring water, so they could have gardens and farms. At its best, Petra had about 30,000 people. But over time, fewer people came because trade routes changed. Big earthquakes in 363 CE and 551 CE made things worse. Eventually, people left Petra. It was found again in 1912, but only in recent times have people started to study it more. There's still a lot we don't know about Petra. Number 4. Machu Picchu. Machu Picchu, a place near Cusco, Peru, was found in 1911 by Hiram Bingham. He thought it was Vilcabamba, an Incan hideout during a rebellion against the Spanish. Later, people disagreed with him. No one's sure why Machu Picchu was built. Bingham thought it was for the Virgins of the Sun, women who lived alone. Others think it was for pilgrims or as a holiday place for royals. One thing's for sure, Machu Picchu is one of the few old Incan sites that's still in good shape. Even though it's high up in the Andes Mountains, it has farms, plazas, homes, and temples. But in 2000, a crane fell there during a beer commercial shoot, breaking something. Number 5. Christ the Redeemer. Christ the Redeemer is a huge statue of Jesus standing on top of Mount Corcovado in Rio de Janeiro. It was built after World War I because some people in Brazil were worried about a lack of faith in God. The idea for the statue came from Heitor da Silva Costa, Carlos Oswald, and Paul Landowski. They started building it in 1926 and finished 5 years later. The statue is 98 feet tall, not counting the 26-foot base, and its arms stretch out 92 feet. It's the biggest Art Deco sculpture in the world. They made it out of strong concrete and covered it with around 6 million tiles. Interestingly, the statue often gets hit by lightning, and in 2014, part of Jesus's thumb got damaged during a storm. Number 6. Colosseum. The Colosseum in Rome was built over 1,900 years ago by Emperor Vespasian. It's a huge amphitheater, about as long as 2 football fields, with a cool system of arches inside. It could fit around 50,000 people who came to watch all sorts of stuff, like gladiator fights and animal battles. They even had fake boat fights sometimes. There's a big debate about whether Christians were actually killed there, though. Some say yes, some say no. But one thing's for sure, a lot of people died there, maybe around 500,000. And they killed so many animals that some species disappeared forever. Number 7. Taj Mahal. This big building in Agra, India, is super famous and shows off Mughal architecture at its best. It was made by Emperor Shah Jahan between 1628 and 1658 to remember his wife Mumtaz Mahal, who died in 1631 while having their 14th child. It took about 22 years and 20,000 workers to build, and it has a huge garden with a pool that reflects the building. The building itself is made of white marble, with pretty designs made of special stones. It has a big dome in the middle and 4 smaller ones around it. Some stories say Shah Jahan wanted his own building made of black marble, but his son took over before it could happen.